Good morning, Sanbonani, Dumelang, and welcome to everybody who has joined us on the call today. Welcome to a very live and interactive session, as today we are with the NYDA and staying lit with the Executive Deputy Chairperson, as we'll be discussing international scholarships, bursaries, and opportunities for us to study abroad. On the call today, I have many very interesting guests that we're going to be able to interact with. And I have the pleasure of steering the ship today. My name is Nomfundo Faith Dlamini. I am currently the Director for Economic Policy and Planning at the Department of Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs in KwaZulu-Natal. But more so, I'm a proud Chevening scholar and alumni, and one of the South Africans who's had the amazing opportunity of being able to pursue their postgraduate studies abroad. And so I have the immense opportunity and privilege of taking us through quite a very interactive discussion, sharing some of our tidbits, our knowledge, and definitely wanting to ensure that we are all kept quite abreast in terms of the amazing opportunities that are out there. They're not just there for some individuals, they're definitely there for all of us. So as we are going to be having this really kind of interactive discussion, I think some of the inciting things that we're going to be speaking through are pertaining to how it is that there are scholarships and funding abroad. We'll be discussing the various elements of financial assistance and options that are available to South African students who are pursuing their studies abroad, as well as the benefits of studying abroad. What are some of the popular destinations and destinations that will be safe, especially for those of us who've never left our shores, and also how it is that this exciting opportunity can also leverage us pertaining to our own personal and professional growth. And I think all of us have had various aspirations. Some of us might be nervous. Some of us must find this a bit of a tricky element for us to venture into. But that is what this session is about. It's about us having a discussion, being quite frank, and helpful, and for you to also kind of interact with us and get to ask and pose those questions that you might not have known who to field them to. So as I said, I have the exciting opportunity of facilitating today's discussion, but of course, I do think it's quite proper for us to also be formally welcomed and have our opening remarks also delivered by the Deputy Chairperson, Ms. Karabo Mohale. Let me hand over to you, a very good friend of mine. Hello.
Hello, and thank you so much, Faith, for leading us in this exciting session that we're going to be having this afternoon. And good afternoon to all young people of Saudi. As Faith would have said, we're very good friends. And we're good friends because we met through an opportunity to study in the United Kingdom when we both got accepted through the Chevening scholarship a couple of years ago. Not really that long ago, I think about 2 years ago, and that's how we actually became as close as we are. But I think the most important reason that we brought her here today was because of the strides that she's making, since she has been back in South Africa. And we really just want to thank you so much, Faith, for allowing us to just tap into your wisdom, your wealth of knowledge, and especially as a young person who left South Africa to go all the way to London and study full-time in the United Kingdom. But I think our message today to all young people, and of course, international scholarship is not only for young people, even those that are over the age of 35, this session is definitely for you. We just want to say that, these opportunities are once in a lifetime opportunities. And once you have them, please grab them with both hands. There are many questions that young people always ask us. Is it not scary? What were you studying? How did you know you wanted to study overseas? And we're really hoping that this session can answer some of those questions as we interact with you. The session is live primarily for that reason, so that you can be able to ask us as many questions as you possibly can ask us. I'm doing my second master's now in SOAS at the University of London, and I think we always say amongst ourselves that once that international schooling thing bites you, it doesn't let go of you. And that's because once you do it, once you overcome your fears of leaving South Africa and just spreading your wings, you actually realize that it's actually possible. And I think it's the word of our former president, our first democratically elected president, President Nelson Mandela, who said it always seems impossible until it's done. And this session is really a session to say to all young South Africans that there's nothing under the sun that is beyond your reach. We say that international scholarships have a potential to open doors for you, doors that once upon a time seemed not accessible to people like us, to people who come from predominantly rural communities. I come from Ramatipani all the way in Zanin, and you can imagine that me leaving South Africa, going all the way to London, was such a huge and momentous experience, but also it was life-changing. It was an opportunity that I think even if I got it today, I would definitely do it again, because you get exposed to so many things. You get exposed to different cultures, to different languages, but also get exposed to different qualifications. And I'm saying this because, I mean, we met different people when we're studying abroad, people who are studying courses that you never ever imagined even existed. And that's the beauty of exposing yourself to different opportunities. That's the beauty of putting yourself out there, taking the risk and actually saying, this is me and I'm going to grab this opportunity. We really do hope that as we share this information on the different scholarships that are available, you're able to see yourself in those opportunities. You're able to say, I can locate myself and I definitely want to take up this opportunity. Embrace the journey. People always ask us, is it easy to apply? Look, the reality of the matter is that if everything was easy in life, we'd all be doing it, right? You need to actually make the effort. You need to actually ensure that you put yourself out there, but also it's a competitive world. You need to ensure that you fight for yourself. There's no one else that can fight for yourself except you. And I think we really do hope that this session today just opens you up to a world of opportunities, opens you up to global possibilities, opens you up to a world that you never imagined existed. So we really want to thank all of you for joining us on today's Stay Lit session that is going to be charting a pathway for young people who want to go and study abroad. We always say in the NYDA, there's no time like the present than for you to be limitless. And we really do hope that you grab this opportunity that is going to be presented by our different speakers, as serious as you can. Take the bull by its horns. And if you need help when you're starting your applications, we're definitely here. Whatever question it is that you have to ask, we're definitely here to answer all of those questions. And we wish you the best of luck in your life. And really, us being here today together with Faith is us saying, look at us, right? Look at the faces that actually left South Africa and went overseas to study masters in different fields. And now we're back in South Africa, contributing to our country and doing the best that we can to ensure that we open more doors for other young people. It was Mam Charlotte Matleke who said, as you rise, bring someone along. And we really do hope, ladies and gentlemen, that you see this opportunity as just that, us presenting to you different opportunities that are available to you that you can be able to take, grab, and go and soar with the eagles amongst the stars. Guys, thank you so much. And we really do hope that you enjoy today's session. Thank you very much, Faith.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, Karabo. And as you can hear, guys, this is the time. The NYDA is saying, let us become limitless. And I think there's no better time for us than to do Hello, hi. Of course, Saudi and internet connections. Of course, colleagues. So as I was saying, it's quite important that we now grab the bull by the horns. It's time for us to actually remain limitless. It's time for us to actually garner that element amount of exposure. And I think the greatest impediment often at times is ourselves, because we look at our backgrounds, we think about where we come from, we think about how this is highly impossible. But today we stand here providing opportunities to say, look at us, we're here, you can touch us, you can hear us, you can feel us. And if we could do it, so could you. And so we're really hoping that through this information session and through this drive and this desire to go beyond your borders, to go beyond your limits, you'll also be inundated to firstly learn about yourself, but also make those destiny connections. Because often at times when we step out of our comfort zones, that's when we're also exposed and shown the limitedness in terms of people, connections, opportunities, whether this is job orientated, whether this is skill orientated, and even just for your own personal development and growth. And so we're really hoping that you guys are going to be just as thrilled and as excited as we are to see you also walking on international platforms, to see you also breaking generational curses, and honestly pioneering and being groundbreaking, because it really is possible. And what this necessitates is for you to also put in the hard work. And as we're going to be speaking about hard work, we're now going to be having a brief presentation from the Department of Education and Training. And the Department of Higher Education and Training also provides some integrated post-school education, and also as well as training opportunities for citizens, so that they can also improve the quality of their lives, and also kind of, propel the purpose in terms of one's own development, the ability for you to also kind of ensure that you have access to these particular opportunities that are also verified and quantified through our national department. And I want to now introduce our DHET representative, which is Miss Joy Nongabe, who will be taking us through what those opportunities entail. So let's listen quite attentively, and let's please make sure, as I'm doing, you're taking notes to make sure that you also are able to write down the right kind of questions and to interrogate the information, so that we walk out of here with a mindful in terms of what it is that we're going to do, and we know which exact steps to undertake. So without much further ado, Ms. Joy Nongabe, I hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Mfundo. Okay. My slides are on the screen. Yes, thank you so much for the introduction. I am from the Department of Education and Training, Joy Nongabe, and welcome everyone to this afternoon session, the lunch hour scholarship session. I'm going to be presenting to you a number of scholarship opportunities that we as the Department of Education and Training promote and implement with our partners. We do, as a department, have different roles depending on what our partners are requesting from us. Some of these roles might differ from us promoting scholarship. Others, we receive application, ensure that this information is spread through to different corners of South Africa, as mentioned. And I will go further on these different roles as I go through each and every scholarship program. We do offer scholarship programs throughout all levels, from your diploma, honors, master's, PhD, and undergraduate degrees, including mobility programs. Honors programs are mainly in Africa, whereas most of our other parts of the world do not offer the honors programs. Why is the department doing this? We want to increase access in higher education and training universities and participation from young people. Also, one of our goals is to ensure that we are skilling enough academics, giving our academics enough pipeline for future academics. And also, we do not want to leave behind those of you who might be interested in entering our TVET studies. Also, our programs, they are for all levels, all field of studies. If you are in the arts, if you are in the humanities, we cover all programs. We do not focus on only STEM. So what is the basic criteria or eligibility criteria for this scholarship? As you have here, we are from the Department of Education and Training. We are focusing on South African citizens, your academic achievement from your previous studies. If you are a first-year candidate, we are going to look into your matric, your national senior certificate. Your average at least should be between 60 and 65. They differ per scholarship. Also, you need to meet the entry requirements for a program that you want to pursue abroad. You should meet it in South Africa. So if you want to study medicine, and the requirements for medicine in South Africa should be met if you want to pursue medical program abroad. We have received a number of students who want to pursue medicine, but when you look at their requirements, they do not even meet the criteria at a South African university. So we need to keep the standard the same. So if you are interested, please look at our different criteria at our different institutions to ensure that when you apply, you do meet the criteria. Also, it is important that when you submit your application, you look at the deadlines, prepare your application way in advance. Do not submit your application on the last day, because if you do, it's going to look shabby and you are not going to have maybe all your documentation, and it's going to be incomplete application. Also, you need to align your application with the themes of that scholarship program. If they require a certain language, age, or certain criteria, ensure that you meet that criteria. Okay, I'm going to start with the 5 scholarship programs that, as the department, we are working together with our partners. We co-fund and we also co-support. These are the Chinese, Hungarian, Mauritius, Africa, the Russian, and the World in Savior Scholarship Program. For all of these, you will be offered tuition, accommodation, stipends, application fees, flights, top-up stipends. Also, we provide what we call a pre-departure orientation, where we are going to orientate you on the culture, the country, what you need to do before you depart South Africa, and who is going to take care of you once you are at the host country. Also, we will cover your SAQA exams and your board examination upon completion of your studies. We also have those opportunities that are supported by the department, but are fully administered by the host country. I'm not going to mention them, but all of them, they are there. Also, average for these ones is between 60 to 70% of your previous studies. I just took a screenshot of our website. All this information will be on our website. You can see there is a tab scholarship. So when you scroll down on the tab, you will have different levels. If you're interested in the master's program, you just go on master's, PhD, you will click on PhD. Undergraduate, you will also click on undergraduate program. So all the programs will also be there. If you're also looking for mobility, we do have short programs there. So different categories have different tabs. So please click and look at different programs that are offered. The first opportunity that I'm going to present to you today is the France South Africa Scholarship Program. It opened, I think, 2 weeks ago on the 14th. It was on a Friday. It is for studies in France for masters and PhD. There are age limitation for this one. You should be born at least by the 1st of January 1995. Since most of you are the young people, you are youth, you will qualify for this program. The Campus France will also have an information session on Friday. Please go to the different social media pages for the link to join this information session on Friday. They also cover full tuition, all the benefits. It's a full scholarship program. Application is strictly online. The closing date for this scholarship program will be on the 14th of October. For this one, it is not only limited to South Africans. However, they also do cover for the constituency in Lesotho and Malawi. We also have the Stipendium Hungaricum Scholarship Program. This is one of our flagship programs. I have mentioned that it's also a full scholarship program. We cover everything. This one is for studies in Hungary. The application will only open in November 2024 and will close middle of January. The department is a nominating agency for this. Applications are sent through an online platform. However, the department will shortlist and nominate candidates. We are offered 100 opportunities annually for the Hungaricum Scholarship Program. It is in English. This is the only program as a department that we support medical students and vet science students. So if you are interested, please work on your application so that when the application opens in November, your application is ready. Always, if you are interested in an opportunity, please go back to our website, look at the previous adverts, because more often than not, we do request the same information. So you just start preparing so that when the application window opens, you have prepared all your referee letters, you have looked at the country, you have looked at different institutions so that you are ready then. The second flagship program, it is the Chinese Government Scholarship Program. For this one, language, bachelor, master's, and PhD at different Chinese institutions. For this one, we do have age limitation. Undergraduate, you should be younger than 25. And for a PhD, at least younger than 40 years old. Sorry about that. The department is the nominating agency. Also, the application will open in October, also will close in January 2025. Also, the entry requirements, for a bachelor's degree, you need to have at least an HSK level 4 Chinese language program as efficiency. So if you do not have, unfortunately, we cannot nominate you for the bachelor's. However, for the postgraduate programs, you can select English programs. Also, the application is online and through the Department of Education and Training. So you submit 2 application forms, one online and one to the department. So you do not select either or, it should be 2 applications. We also have the Youth of Excellence Scheme, which is the Yes China Scholarship Program. This one, the target is for public sector officials and our academics at universities. As you have heard in my opening, that our target is to ensure that we do have enough academics in our different institutions. For this one, an age cut is 45 years old. Also, you should be physically fit, both mentally and physically. So also, in order, because these are mostly master's programs, you should have your bachelor's qualification. Also, you should have at least a 3-year work experience in order for us to consider you for this opportunity. Then we do have the Russian Government Scholarship Program, bachelor, master's, and PhD. For this one, the language proficiency is Russian. All the programs will be taught in Russian. The reason why most of these foreign countries are providing scholarship to South Africans is for us as South Africans to go and learn the culture, tradition, and their way of living. So that is why it is a requirement that when they offer these programs, the language of instruction, it is in the host country's language. So the department is also the nominating agency. We are offered 30 scholarship programs annually. It will open in Jan and will close in March 2025. Remember, all of these opportunities, the academic year starts in September. The fourth one is the Mauritius Africa Scholarship Scheme. If you do not want to travel that far, you just want to be in Africa, we do have the Mauritius Africa Scholarship Scheme. The language of instruction is in English. Also, various programs are offered. The only exception is medical programs. Also, age limits, undergrad 25, postgrad 39. For postgraduate, they only offer PhDs. Masters, unfortunately, is not supported through this scholarship program. The department is also the nominating agency. Applications are sent through to the department. We will have a closing date, and we will invite you for interviews if you meet the requirements. The last one that we are administering with a partner is the World in Serbia Scholarship Program. This is a scholarship for you to go and pursue your studies in Serbia, which is in the East Europe. Also, the language of instruction is in Serbia. Only 5 scholarships are offered. You might be thinking the competition is stiff for this one. Unfortunately not. We are struggling to receive application for most of our scholarship program. Hence, we are engaging in these information sessions. Closing, it usually opens beginning of Feb and will close later at the end of Feb. We also have the category 2, where the department also assists with co-payment. However, the administration of the scholarship is done by our partners. One of those is the Kada Asma Scholarship Program, which this one is a fully funded scholarship program. It will open next week. Please be on the lookout. It only opens for a month, closing at the end of July. So for this one, it only for master studies, they prioritize students from historically disadvantaged institutions and communities. Also, they encourage women to apply, especially those from the science, technology, and engineering field. You should also have at least a 2-year relevant work experience. Remember, work experience, since we know you are young people, some of you might not have been employed formally, but during your studies, you were engaged in tutoring, demonstration of practicals, volunteering, internship. That is also regarded as formal work. So you can also include that in your CV to say, I have 2 years work experience. During my studies, I was doing 1, 2, 3, as long as you can motivate for that. Also, it is important that you should demonstrate leadership and also commitment to the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. So you also need to look into our SDGs and align your application with what is required. We also have the Commonwealth Master Scholarship Program. This is for the studies in the UK. We are also nominating for this one. This is one of the sought after scholarship programs. As you have heard this morning, both Nomfundo and Karabo studied in the UK. Most of our South Africans want to go and study in UK. I think mainly it will be because of the language. So also for this one, it's only for a master's, 1 year taught master's at participating universities. You should align your application with the Commonwealth themes. They have 4 themes. Please look on the website. The application usually opens in September and it will close October 2024 for studies starting next year. For this one also, there are no age restriction. You apply online, submit references. So for most of these opportunities, you need to have your reference letters ready so that you upload them on the systems. Once you do that, you ensure that once you submit your application, ensure that all the documentation, supporting documentation are ready, and you submit them by the deadline. So you don't submit an application and wait up after the closing date to submit all the supporting document. So everything should be submitted by the due date. We also have the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professional, also one of the master's scholarship programs for studies in Sweden. Either one year or 2 year master's program in Sweden. You should also have at least 3,000 hours of work experience. Please, when you submit an application, ensure that you don't say 8 hours per day. Specify the hours so that if it's 8 hours per day, you multiply by 5, multiply by 20, so that when you submit on the application, it is the actual amount, not expecting the reviewers to calculate your hours for you. You need to do that from your end. For this one, the application window is very short. It's usually from the 12th of Feb up until the end of Feb, the 28th of Feb. So please ensure that when you submit your application, it's ready, and you submit it as soon as the application window opens. If you wait up until the last few days, you might encounter technical glitches, since everybody will be submitting the application on the last date. We also have Italian government grants. Also, these are meant for young people. They also have age limits. You should be younger than 30 years of age for master's, PhD, research project, and also should you want to learn the Italian language. So all fields of study are covered under this one. Benefits is tuition, monthly allowance, and also medical insurance. We also have from Japan, the Abe initiative. This program is also meant for young people. In the past 2 years, it was a closed call. However, for this year, it is going to be an open call where it will be shared among different platforms. As you can see, you should be between the age of 22 and 39 years of age. The language of instruction for the Japanese one is in English, so you do not need to worry about the language barrier here. So also fully funded scholarship program. The department, together with the Department of Public Service and Administration, we serve on the steering committee. What is nice, what is also good about this opportunity, you will also have, you will conduct a 6-month internship program at the participating Japanese firms after completion of your studies. Also, this one, they only require you to have at least 6 months work experience. Remember what I said about work experience, your tutoring, your internship also form part of work experience. As we know, young people do not have formal, we do not expect formal work experience from young people. We also have the SDG Global Leader Program, also a part of the Japanese scholarship program. For this one, it's as you can see, it's SDG. Your application should be aligned to the SDG programs. You should also have at least 6 months work experience, similar to the other initiative. However, the difference there is you will not be offered internship program after completion of your studies. It is targeting government officials and academics. Where to find this information? I've on our website, International Scholarship. I saw the link has been shared on the chat. We also have what we call bulk emailer. You can subscribe so that bi-weekly we send out a newsletter of available scholarship programs. If you have subscribed, you will receive these every Friday. We are also present on social media platforms, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and IG and Instagram. We also do presentation at different institutions across as we are invited. We do have monthly information session. I have mentioned that next month, the month of July, we will be having another info session on the 4th of July for the the Kare Asma Scholarship Program. And also on the 24th, we'll be having another one on the ABI initiative and the SDG. So please follow us, subscribe, register for this information session. We invite our partners. They will be presenting and you will learn more about all these opportunities. We also have a dedicated email address. If you have inquiries, follow up, do send us an email. We will respond to you as we receive your email. This is all from my end. I am available for question later on. Thank you, and we do hope that we are going to receive all your application. You are more than welcome to apply to all of them. You know, it is good to have all these. You have choices. You don't limit yourself. This morning we heard about do not limit yourself. So don't limit yourself. Apply to all of them. When you're successful, just choose where you want to study. If you want to go to Ireland, if you want to go to Switzerland, UK, the decision will be made by you. But don't limit yourself to one opportunity. Thank you so much. Back to you, Nomfundo.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Joy. Of course, for those who are 40 degrees, almost 40 I hope everybody is tuned in and also just equally as excited in terms of what it is that will be transpiring and how it is that, I mean, right now, I think what we heard was a myriad of really excellent opportunities. And I hope people are definitely tuning in, taking down notes. We are noting all of your questions and your comments on our various platforms. So please do understand we're not ignoring that. But maybe, Joy, before you log off or are quiet before we have our more larger discussion, just a quick question from my side. I just wanted to find out, are there any opportunities, for example, for potential scholars to kind of network or with former or scholarship holders who would have been given opportunities through the Department of Higher Education Training to kind of maybe leverage with them, especially for those countries, like you were saying, where English is not maybe the main medium. So the likes of Hungary, the likes of China, the likes of Mauritius and what have you, France as well. So do you maybe have that type of a platform where former can possibly learn, I mean, those who are interested can possibly learn from the former and those who've travailed in those facets before?
Thank you so much, Nomfundo. We do have what we call pre-departure orientation, where we invite both our alumni and also the incoming student to meet up. Also, what is also beautiful with our programs, for those who, especially because Hungary, we have a large number of alumni and students who are currently studying there. What we usually do, we link up our students before they depart South Africa, to say we do have students who are studying in Budapest, we have students who are studying in certain areas of Hungary. Please help them to climatize themselves with the country, so that we have this mentorship program, so that South Africans need to know each other, those who are in different foreign countries. Also, we do the same for the Chinese. For the Russian program, our embassy helps us a lot with moving students around. So we contact them, then they will ensure that all our students go to their destinations safe. So DERCO plays a major role there. But for other countries, we do link students, the current students, with the new ones.
Perfect. No, thank you so much, Joy. Of course, Sister Joy is still on the call. She's not leaving. So I want us to, like I'm saying, please note your questions on the chat. And I do want to hand us over now to another ambit that I think would be quite exciting for us to learn from. And this is going to be some input from the Chevening Scholarship and Fellowship Program, as we know, that is handled through the British High Commission. And I wanted to introduce Mr. Vuchilo Makananise, who is not only an author and a strategist, but also a very motivated and enthusiastic person pertaining to higher education. And he started working for the British High Commission around December, and he's also responsible for leading and implementing the Chevening Scholarship and Fellowship programs. So, and this is throughout South Africa, Eswatini, as well as Lesotho. So, Vuchilo, my friend, Mr. Makananise, handing over to you.
Thank you very much, Nomfundo. I'm happy to be joining you, and good morning to everyone who's online. I'm so happy that both you, Nomfundo and Karabo, you are alumni to Chevening. So that really makes me happy. I don't know if you can see my presentation. Oh yes. As I've been introduced, I'm Buchiro Makananise, and I am a Chevening officer, wherein I lead the implementation of Chevening in South Africa, Lesotho, and Eswatini. So maybe the first question will be, what is Chevening scholarship? So basically, Chevening is a fully funded scholarship that offers a fully master's program in the universities in the United Kingdom. And this is given to people with realistic and achievable ideas when they come back from the UK. And this is a flagship for the UK government, meaning that this program is offered to many countries around the world. Who can or who should apply for this program? Chevening offers the scholarship to open-minded, driven, solution-focused people from around the world, and South Africa is one of those countries that it's given this scholarship. As you have heard that Nomfundo and Karabo are the alumni for Chevening. So if you think that you have positive influence or you can make change in your country or community, this is the scholarship that you have to take advantage of and apply. So maybe the most important question would be, who is eligible to apply for this scholarship? So you need to be a citizen for one of these countries, which is 160. And South Africa, as I've said, it's one of those countries that are eligible. You also need to hold an undergraduate degree, also maybe an honors upper class degree, so that you qualify for this master's program. And you need to have at least 2 years of experience. As Joy have alluded, this experience can come in the form of mentorship, tutorship, volunteering, or internship. So do not look down upon yourself to say that you do not have a professional work experience, because those things that I've just mentioned, they are counted for as work experience. You must also demonstrating abilities or capabilities of being a future leader. So we really need to be someone who's very active, not just focusing only on your academics. Furthermore, what does this scholarship cover? So, as I've said, this is a fully funded program. So, meaning that all your fees are covered, your living allowance each and every month. So, for people who went last year, they were being given about in a rent, it was around 31,000 for living allowance. You will also be given an economy return ticket or flight ticket going to and coming back. And additionally, there will be some other monies that you will be given when you arrive and as well as when you come back from the UK. So this program covers a total amount of 22,000 British pounds if you are doing an MBA. As you will all know that MBAs are very expensive. This means that if the MBA program you are doing it's more than 22,000 pounds, you will have to cover the remaining difference. Furthermore, what else can you gain from a Chevening scholarship? You will gain to be part of the network that is people who are all over the world. So you will tap into this network of people around 37,000. So for South Africa, since the inception of this program, we have about 900 plus people who have benefited from this scholarship. So you'll be tapping into that kind of network. Also, you will be having an opportunity to do your internships in institutions such as BBC World Service. As you will know, these are very big institutions. Some even go do their internships at the United Nations and other institutions. So you will also be exposed to many people, and you will have an opportunity to share your ideas and also learn from others. So not only does Chevening offers a scholarship, we also have a fellowship, but this fellowship is not a postdoctoral fellowship. Even the undergrad, they qualify for this fellowship, provided they are in the area of arts, media, and culture. It is called Leadership Fellowship. So the application, as I go with the presentation, you will see when it will open. So as I've said before, that we have a large number of alumni, and in South Africa we have over 900 people that have been part of this scholarship, and they are in different fields of studies such as like your politics, business, law, and journalism, and many other fields, because this scholarship covers for all fields of studies. Furthermore, in South Africa, beside the ones that you are seeing on our screen, you have heard Nomfundo and Karabo saying that they are alumni for Chevening. So we also have Lesisha Kanyako, who is the governor at South Africa Reserve Bank. You have Lerato Mbele, you have yourself. So we have a lot of people who are prominent and who are playing very crucial role in their respective fields of studies. So the timeline for this coming for the next year call will open in August on the 6th, and it will close on the 5th of November. And then the application will be shifted around as of November. And in January, that's when we'll be starting to shortlist people for the interviews. And then from February to to April, that's when we'll be conducting the interviews to all successful people who have been shortlisted. And then in June, July, we will be announcing the outcome. Like, for instance, for those who will be leaving this year, we just announced last week that they have been successful. For those who have not been successful, they can still give it another try when the next call opens. And in September, they will be leaving to the UK. Furthermore, is that to apply for the Chevening, one has to note that on the 6th of August, that's when the application will open globally. And also check if, let's say, you are not a South African, but you live in South Africa, check if your country of origin is eligible. And then we have also conducted some surveys amongst our scholars. So we have 95% of satisfaction, or people who are being satisfied about this program at 95%. And we also have events wherein we call our alumni to network with those who wants to be part of the scholarship, or those who are being shortlisted. Like, for instance, we have a pre-departure event wherein we call our alumni and those who are leaving to come and learn about the opportunities and the challenges that they might encounter when they're abroad. Furthermore, we have about 40 years of doing this program. So this is one life-changing opportunity. So you better take advantage of this opportunity. And all in all, thank you very much. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nomfundo.
Thank you so much, Vuchishilo. I think I really appreciate just your comprehensiveness in terms of how it is that you've been able to display this amazing opportunity. And I think all of these opportunities, colleagues and friends, family, and brothers and sisters who are here on the call, are life-changing, no doubt about it. And maybe just to kind of pick your brain a little bit, Vuchilo, I wanted to find out, because I think one of the things that's quite intricate, I think Sis Joy, when she was speaking, was alluding to this, you've also highlighted this, is the importance of these timelines, right? And often at times, I think when colleagues are interested and young people are interested in terms of the opportunities in Hi, Vuchilo, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you. I've lost you there.
No, I made sure to just kind of switch that camera on and off again. Just maybe it's a bandwidth element. But maybe if I can go back to the question. My question is, often at times young people can get confused because these timelines are quite tight, they're quite specific in terms of what to do first. So I've even noticed on our platforms and some of the interactions in the chats that some individuals are talking about the fact that they've been accepted into an educational institute. However, now they lack funding. Or should they be applying for funding first and then going to the institution in terms of acceptance? So I just wanted to maybe find out from you, I know specifically to Chevening, what are then those particular requirements so that young people are not putting the cart before the horse and then left in a situation whereby, for example, they're quite distressed, obviously eager to have this opportunity in terms of going abroad, but then now stuck with often at times the main hindrance for most of us as people from disadvantaged backgrounds, that being the funding. So what do you suggest is undertaken in terms of the first steps so that they get this right and they're able to access the opportunities as discussed?
Thank you very much for the question. As you will know that the academic year in the UK and in South Africa, they are different. So in the UK, it starts in September. So the first step that you need to do is to identify the university that you want to go to, at least 3 universities, so that you have different options. And once you have identified, okay, by the 6th of August, the universities in the UK will not be open for admission yet. It means that you will first apply for the scholarship. And then in the application process, you will indicate whether you have started to apply for the university or not. But around November, December, that's when the universities in the UK starts to open for the admission. Then you apply for the admission. And then after that, the university will take few weeks without giving you the outcome of your application. And once they come back to you, by that time, you will know as to whether you are being shortlisted. It will be around Feb of that particular year. Around Feb, you will know as to whether you are, like after you've done the interviews, the universities will also be giving you either conditional offer or unconditional offer, depending on the institution. And maybe it's also important for me to highlight that we, as Chevening, we no longer requires an English test. That has been dropped. However, the university requires the English test. So by when we finish everything by June, the university will be giving you either unconditional or conditional offer, and then you can upload it to the system. So the best way to do this is to identify the university that you want to go to, as well as the course that you want to go to. Good thing about this is that everything is being fitted in on our website. If you go to our website with chevening.org, you will find all the courses that are eligible, and as well as the institution. And then you will, when the university, by June, when they say that they need a deposit, you will know the outcome of the scholarship. Then we will give you a letter that you have to share with the institution, so that they do not have to charge you for any registration fee for that matter. So it is better to do things early than late. And then also it's important that when you answer the questions that we pose in the essay form or essay format, you answer with honesty. Do not use ChatGPT that will give you a generic answer. So you need to be authentic, give your real life experience and how this will affect your personal and professional growth, and how you're gonna contribute when you come back. So I think that's important for me to highlight. Thank you, Nomfundo.
Thank you so much for Chilo. And that is what we have heard, colleagues and friends and family and young individuals, about some of the scholarship opportunities that are presented through the Chevening Scholarship in the UK. And please, like I said, don't be despondent. I am seeing the myriad of questions that are being posed on our public platforms, and we definitely will be having a Q&A session pertaining to that, where we actually speak through those things, and we also allow you guys to also come to the platform to address those questions. But right now, I just want you guys to just still hang in there a little bit. And I want us to now have an opportunity to be addressed by Ms. Khomotso Austin, who is from the Embassy of Switzerland. She is the Program Officer for Science and Technology at the Embassy of Switzerland to South Africa, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Mauritius, and Namibia. And so she'll be giving us a bit more information in terms of their service offerings. So let's still stay tuned, take down the notes, and Sis Khomotso, I hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Nomfundo, for your kind introduction. I don't know if everybody can see my presentation yet. Yes, yeah. Fantastic. So as Nomfundo has said, my name is Khomotso Austin, and I am the Program Officer for the Science and Technology Office here at the Embassy of Switzerland in Pretoria. And I am primarily responsible for the scholarship portfolio. And today I'm going to talk to you about opportunities that Switzerland has to offer for young researchers and academics who wish to pursue their postgraduate studies in Switzerland. So Switzerland is a landlocked country. It is in the heart of Europe. It is bordered by Italy, France, Germany, Austria, and Liechtenstein. With just over 8 million people, they have 4 national languages and 26 cantons, which is an equivalent to provinces in South African terms. Switzerland is rated as one of the best in the world in terms of their higher education systems and programs. It is rated the highest in academic excellence and has high-end facilities for research, groundbreaking research across the spectrum. It is also listed as one of the best innovative countries in the world and is a global hub for anyone who is a groundbreaking thinker, really, and it attracts a lot of international scholars around the world. And I see you, Kutlwano, and I hope you meet the eligibility criteria for the scholarships that we have to offer. And so one of the competitive advantages of studying in Switzerland is that our scholars, we have observed, have a high employability rate after they graduate from any of the Swiss universities. And Switzerland has 3 kinds of universities. So the traditional universities, where they do fundamental research, and cantonal universities. And then they have universities of applied sciences and arts. And then they also have universities of teacher education. The culture in Switzerland is that, because it's such a melting pot of global culture and international hub, English is one of the most spoken languages in Switzerland. Although they have 4 official languages that they speak, which is Italian, German, French, and Romansh, English is still one of the most spoken languages in Switzerland. So you might want to ask yourself, why do I want to study or live in Switzerland? Well, first of all, it is rated as one of the safest countries to live in the world. And it is, like I say, a global hub and home to many global corporations that some of us know. For example, in the pharmaceutical space, Novartis and Roche, and Logitech, for those who are in the IT space would know that, those speakers that we all used to use, and those who are collectors of timepieces. It is the home to Rolex, to mention just a few. And I've just put together here a clip, and I hope it will play for you to just have a visual understanding of what we have. I don't know if I'm able to play it. No, I don't think I'm able to play. Okay. Well, we'll skip that. So today, again, focus back to the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarships, which are scholarships that are afforded to international scholars from across the globe. These scholarships are made available each year by the Swiss Confederation, and they award these scholarships to over 180 countries, more than 180 countries worldwide. And it really is a testament to how Switzerland, as a small country that it is really punching above its weight in terms of producing world-class researchers and attracting some of the world's best scholars. There are 3 types of scholarships that we offer, and these are a research fellowship, which is for 12 months. And there is a criteria here that I see a lot of people are not happy about, the age limitation that has been imposed. So at the time of application for our research fellowships, you have to be 35 years and younger. It is a 12-month research fellowship, and it's not prolongable. And then the other scholarship opportunity is the PhD scholarship, which, like the research fellowship, offers an opportunity for academics, young researchers, to go and study, and you must be 35 years and younger at the time of applying, but this scholarship is for minimum 12 months up to 36 months, right? And then we have the postdoctoral fellowship, which is for 12 months as well, the duration, and there is no age limit for the postdoctoral fellowship, but you must have acquired your PhD within 5 years of applying. And now to the good bits. What are the benefits or you get when you become an ESCA scholarship holder or a Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship holder? You get the scholarship gives you an allowance for the PhD and research fellows. You get 1,920 Swiss francs, which is equivalent to 34,849 rands per month. And this will be this is the allowance that is given to you with no tax, and it is for you to also just cover your basics, which is stuff like shared accommodation. If you please, you can find accommodation where you can stay alone, but it is advisable that you find shared accommodation, as it is very expensive to live in Switzerland. Okay, I think we can now play the video quickly, so I just need to stop sharing, and then I'll get back to presenting.
If you've decided to study in Switzerland, you probably have some idea of what the country has to offer. Mountains, skiing, the great outdoors, lakes, punctuality and watches, cheese, chocolate, banks, more chocolate. And don't forget about Heidi. Okay, fair enough. But there's so much more to Switzerland. First off, there are the Swiss themselves, reserved but friendly, sticklers for quality and precision, proud of their country, multilingual, sociable, interested in world events, travel buffs. Once the ice is broken, you'll be welcomed with open arms. As well as its brilliant quality of life, Switzerland has one of the best education systems in the world. How do you think Einstein got to be Einstein? There are 3 types of university in Switzerland. Universities of applied sciences and arts, and universities of teacher education. All of its diplomas are recognized across Europe, and there are over 3,000 degree programs to choose from, with more than 700 taught in English. So you're sure to find one that suits. At Swiss universities, you'll also find a cosmopolitan environment, world-renowned researchers and professors, a whole host of innovative startups, and firms with a wealth of expertise. Higher education institutions engaged in addressing the increasing global challenges faced by today's society. And last but not least, low tuition fees. As well as receiving a first-rate education, you'll also be able to boost your creativity, build a strong network of trusted relationships, improve your career prospects, spend your time doing what you really care about, and get the most out of life.
So come to Switzerland.
Thank you very much. Thank you for playing that. I hope you could all see it, because I could never do justice to describing how beautiful and how vibrant the energy of a student life in Switzerland is. I hope everybody could enjoy that, and the sound was clear and the visuals were clear. So coming back to the benefits of the scholarships that we offer. So for PhD and research fellows, like I said, it would be 1,920 Swiss francs per month. That is for you to cover your monthly allowances and your monthly living costs. And then for the postdoc fellowship, it is the worth of 3,500 Swiss francs, and that equates to about 63,500 per month. You are required to have a mandatory Swiss health insurance. So I know, unlike, for example, in countries like the UK, where my counterpart, Vishilo, is representing, they have the national health system, I think, where you have access to health. But in Switzerland, you have to have an insurance, a Swiss health insurance, which is paid for every month. So this is one of the good things for that comes with the scholarships that the Swiss Government Excellence offers. So the health insurance, because it is compulsory and it doesn't come cheap, one of the good things is that if you are not, if you don't come from EU countries or Nordic countries, you are eligible for a cover by the scholarship awarders that you will then receive. They will pay your health insurance every month, and therefore you have access to some of the world health facilities while you are in Switzerland. And of course, we pay for your flights to Switzerland in partnership with our partners in South Africa, the Department of Higher Education and Training. And you get a once-off 300 housing allowance, 300 Swiss franc housing allowance that will help you set up and secure your accommodation of choice. And you get a 1.5-year public fare transportation card, which is very important because Switzerland is very big on public transport, and they've got very efficient public transport systems, and it is very expensive. So the fact that the scholarship also gives you some form of a top up to that is already a plus, and you can then enjoy sightseeing at your leisurely time. And there are other support services that organize dinners and sightseeing tours for the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship holders, which is also one of the beautiful and life-changing benefits. So what is the eligibility for these scholarships that I've just mentioned? So you must be a postgraduate, and I know in South Africa when we say postgraduate, we refer to people with honors upwards. In the European context and maybe even the broader Western culture, it is from it's a master's. So you must have hold a master's degree to qualify for our scholarships. And between the research fellowship and the PhD scholarship, you must be 35 years and younger. And you must solicit a professor in Switzerland that will be available and willing to supervise you for the duration of your scholarship. And you must have put together a very good research proposal with the timelines included in your proposal. So for the research fellowship, you must stipulate explicitly what you will be doing for the 12 months that you are there and how long it will take you to finish this, your research fellowship, because it's not extendable. So it's important to remember that. And you will not be considered if you have been a recipient of the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarships in the past. And so the criteria for the candidate, you must also submit a personal motivation, which the Federal Commission, the Federal Commission for Scholarships will assess, and they will look at your research capacity and background. So that means your transcripts, your academic record, how you performed, maybe even testimonials where applicable can be submitted. And then they will look at the research project, which is your research proposal. The originality of the research project will be considered, the methodology and feasibility of the study that you wish to conduct in Switzerland. And this ties in with the potential supervisor that will be taking you on in Switzerland. So then they also need to know if the supervisor has the capacity to provide supervisory services to you during the duration of your research program. And so when does the call open? So every year on the 1st of August, the calls open for application, and the calls close on the 29th of November 2024 this year. And then from then on, it gets evaluated in Switzerland by the Federal Commission for Scholarships, and upon which they will finalize the selection process, and you will most likely hear back from them the beginning of the new year. So first quarter of the year, around March, April, they will give you the outcome of your application. And these are they are released in 2 batches. So first in March, April, and then also in May and June, where communication is shared with the applicants. And then you will then commence with your studies and your research projects in Switzerland beginning of in September, mid-September. So what is of importance? I think Nomfundo made it referred to this in terms of these opportunities are really life-changing, and they are, they are very highly competitive. So it is up to you to really make your application a success. Spend time with your application, reread your application, make sure you use the correct forms. Read the instructions given on the application very carefully, because those are the little things that may be the deciding factor between your fate, your dream and the other side of it, Submit all required documentation in 2 copies. For our scholarships, we need 2 batches. So an envelope packed with one originals, and the other one, it's a second copy of the same documents. And then you provide the required information in the sections. Pay attention to the word limit, to the word count. Ask for recommendation letters from people that you do know are in a position to report on your work, on your personality in an objective way. And just try and remember, putting together a successful application requires time and patience, because once you get it, it changes your life for the better. And thank you. That is it from me.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I think absolutely, Karabo, I don't know about you, but the minute I heard timepieces, something happened. And not only is Switzerland...
We are going to Switzerland. We're going.
My friend, timepieces. I don't think, it's limitless nonetheless. Who said we're going to stop at 2 masters? Hey, there's the PhDs, there's the postdocs. Siyabangena. Siyabangena, and I hope siyabangena sonke, guys, as we're all here and listening. And thank you so much, Khumotso, for such a wonderful and very insightful presentation. We saw the skiing. We saw so much, but I think maybe just as a bit of a follow-up question, to also kind of get your inputs before I lead on to our next speaker, I just wanted to find out, you mentioned something that's quite integral, and I think a lot of people don't take into consideration, that also pertains to cost of living. But however, my question actually pertains to the importance of a young person researching the institution that they're applying to, and to also ensure that they get the most out of that particular experience. And as you were speaking about Switzerland and the various kind of compartmentalization in terms of the research, the science and the technology elements, how would you say it's so important for a young person to kind of research the type of institution that they want to go and pursue their studies to, and how important is it also to actually have a variation of options in that particular regard? Khumotso?
Thank you, Nomfundo. That's a very good question. It is highly, highly important. And it also it signals to whoever's reviewing your application that you take yourself seriously enough, first of all, to know what you want to do. And it really begins with the applicant. You look at your research project. You mustn't be so rigid also, because we are within fields, and within fields, there are little nano research areas that we can zoom into and specialize. So when you look into your research field and the topic you want to focus on, it is also important to try and match that with the capacity of the host university to carry that out with you. It is like, I always say, it's like, because we have a list of participating universities, it will be like a Tinder for academics. You know, you go online, you find the most suitable supervisor, you write to them based on what they are researching, what their research projects are, and you see how that aligns with yours. And this is all about synergies. And once you have established that, it becomes a little bit easier for you to even approach the prospective supervisor that you've identified by just saying, you know, when you do approach these people, you don't even have to write a long memorandum. When you write an email for the first time, you just introduce yourself, for example, and you tell them that you are interested in this research area, and this is your research focus, and that you've applied for the Swiss scholarship, Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship Program, because sometimes the professors also are very quick to reject an application where they don't know where your funding is going to come from. So when you indicate, you know, at that level, when you initiating contact, to say your intention is to apply and get the scholarship that the Swiss government has made available to international scholars, it also then you know, alleviates that frustration for them to say, okay, I can take you on. If you secure the scholarship, I can take you on, because it shows you've done due diligent research in terms of what you're doing, where you want to do it, and who you want to do it with.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Khomoso. I am loving the commentary that I'm seeing. Nangno uzamandos uri hari do. Siyabangena, guys, honestly. Bizowami, hello, hi. I'm glad you're on the call, and to everybody who's here and joined and interacting. As we've said, colleagues, friends, family, young people of Southie, this session is for you to get informed. This session is for you to get empowered, but this session is also for you guys to understand the limitlessness in terms of opportunities and what's at stake. And that's what we're here to do together with the National Youth Development Agency, and to bring this to your platform. And I think with much anticipation, it'd be also amazing to hear from someone who's actually walked the walk. And you are going to be shortly speaking to an individual by the name of Miss Lebogang Themba, who is actually from Hammanskraal. She holds a bachelor's degree in biology and a master's degree specializing in plant biotechnology. And she was able to undertake a scholarship opportunity in Turkey. So without much further ado, I want to welcome Ms. Lebogang onto the platform. And she'll be taking us through her particular journey. And then, of course, we'll be some interacting with all the speakers.
Thank you, Nomfundo, and thank you to everyone for joining, taking their time, to listen to this informative session. I do not have a slideshow, but I will be sharing my experience, how I came about the scholarship to go to Turkey, and how my experience there was. So as high school students, we apply in VETS. I think VETS was my top priority to go to, and I didn't have information on international scholarship, let alone dream about going abroad to study. And I found myself, I was accepted in VETS, but I didn't have the funds. And, it's always helpful to have people around you that look at you and see that you have the potential and they're invested in your education. So don't be afraid to look for assistance in your teachers, your principals, and anyone around you who might have that kind of information. I did not apply in your norm way where I would go online to the Turkey scholarship and do an interview. However, my principal did call me and informed me about the scholarship, and the NYDA assisted and facilitated in the process of, applying the interview and getting all the other documents ready before going. Yes, so now I'm going to talk about the Turkish scholarship first. It's a government program from the Turkish scholarship, and you can study your undergrad, master's, PhD, and also you can do research with them. And you can choose any field. I've been listening to the speakers, how they say you need to be prepared and you need to know which field you're gonna study and what you're interested in. But the one thing for sure, as a young individual leaving South Africa, I was 17 by that time, you don't know because you will be making mistakes. You don't know for sure. At 17, you don't know for sure. So allow yourself to give yourself room for failure, to make mistakes, and know that it's okay. When I left South Africa, I was 17 and I wanted to be in the medicine field. And because almost everyone, my mom, my grandmother, are in that field. When I went there, I wanted to do medicine, but then when you get there, you actually then you experience, then you learn to fall in love with certain things, and you choose a different path, and you excel with it, you go with it. So Turkey gives you the opportunity to choose between a wide range of studies, from medicine to science to humanities and more. And you can choose to study in any university, and their degrees or diplomas are recognized globally. And the application process, the applications are open in January, between January and February, and you can apply online. I will share the link. You can apply online. You'll apply between Jan and Feb, and in June, that's when they'll call you for an online interview, depending on who's facilitating. So if you applied online, you'll have an online interview, and if the embassy is facilitating, as it was I think 2 years back, the Turkish embassy was facilitating students for the application process, so they kind of like facilitated the interview. I'm not sure if they're doing that this year. However, be on the post on the Turkey website to see who is facilitating with the application process. You'll have to wait for next year, as the applications are between Jan to Feb, and then the interviews are between June and July. The results for who has won the scholarship will normally announce around August, and then the candidates will then leave between mid-August to early September, as the academic year begins in September. And then I think you just have to be ready for open-minded, because I was open-minded and I was ready to learn and absorb everything. Turkey was very different. The culture is different. The people there are different. And you have to be open-minded. It's rich in history, the Ottoman Empire, and the arts there, the music is different, the religion is different. So you have to be open-minded. Also, the scholarship, the Turkish scholarship, the things that they offer you, they offer accommodation, they'll offer you a monthly stipend, they'll pay for your tuition fee, and as long as you keep your GPA above 2 or from 2 upwards, then you're good to go. You just have to be hardworking. I remember my first year getting there without knowing Turkish. It was very difficult, but they do offer a 9-month course for you to learn the language before you start with your course. Adapting to new cultures. So my first year in Turkey, while I was learning the language, I realized, shoot, I know South Africa has 11 official languages, and I know about 4 to 5 of them. But grammar-wise, Turkey is different, or Turkish is different. So you have to be open-minded to learn that language, because my first year, I used to go to the lessons, not pay attention at all, because I figured, oh no, man, I'll be studying in English. So there's no need for me to learn the language. So every time I'd get assignments about the language, or homeworks, and I'd get to my room and I would switch with my Turkish roommate and say, you do my Turkish and then I'll do your English for you, until I actually failed in the course for that term. And I knew, you know what, in order for me to survive, I need to pull my socks. So you need to discipline yourself. You need to discipline yourself and know that, you know what, I'm here to study, and this, I'm going to do it. And also personal growth. Initially, when we left, we were a group of 11 people. When we got there, they separate you. And don't go with that mindset that because I'm leaving with my South African fellows, I'm going to be dependent on them. Learn to be independent and for self-growth. I will be answering your questions. I'll give you a time where you can answer questions, and then I'll answer your questions. I just needed to share my experience with you guys. And then any questions that you have, I'll be answering. Also, not sure what else you guys want to find out from me. Do you want to find out how you apply for the scholarship? I'll let you know. Q&As. Let me check the comments.
Maybe, Lebogang, just to make sure that we kind of summate your session quite well, I'd maybe want you to maybe do, for example, pertaining to your experience, what was some of the work that you had to undertake before departure? Because often at times people don't know what to research, what to look out for before they leave. And it really eye-opening experience, because you're going to enter into a world in certain instances that you've never ever gotten into. So what are some of the tips that I think for experience you would say definitely try do this homework in advance so that you're prepared? And I feel when you're better prepared, you're better empowered.
True. Here's the thing about preparation, because now the internet, sometimes everything is not captured, or all the information that you get on the internet is not the same as what you will experience. So before leaving, or prior to leaving, I did my research on Turkey, the religion, and anything that I needed to prepare myself for. But before the application process, because NYDA facilitated in everything, all I needed to do was get myself ready for the world that's out there. Right now, doing the research on the type of food they eat, their culture, the music, and the environment itself, when you actually get there, it is not the same. Hence, I'm saying that you need to be open-minded, and you need to self-discipline and know that when you're leaving, you're not only representing yourself, but your family and your country as well. And you'll have to behave in a way that you know it's not just me. I did my research, but once I got and landed in Turkey, it was a different story. Research does not prepare you for what you find. It will give you an inkling, but it is not the same. Our first year getting there, you'll Google research about the cuisine there and the type of food they eat. I think it took us about 6 months to actually try the food and actually say, you know what, I'm going to eat. and also get used to the environment. Okay, I'm going to try and apply. I see Nondu Miso on Facebook is asking, how do you apply? Nondu, how you apply for the scholarship is you go to Turkiye Bursları. I will share it on the screen. You go to Turkiye Bursları, and then you'll see on the tabs, on one of the tabs, it says scholarship and how you apply, and then you'll follow there. But as I've advised you is that the scholarship will be opening in between Jan and February. Scholarships are now closed, but I will advise if otherwise. Is the level of work difficult or challenging? Laura Molokome, yes, nothing is easy in life. By the level of work, do you mean the academic work or do you mean personal work? Academic work is always challenging. I had to juggle when I was doing my master's because after doing my undergrad, I came back home and somehow something fell out of place. I went back and I had to work as a waitress and also juggle doing my master's at the same time, while I also did tutored English to some of the Turkish children in Turkey. So work will always be challenging, but you just have to know what you can take and what limit you can reach and what you can overcome.
No, thank you so much, Lebogang. I think what we'll do now, we'll go straight into our discussion pertaining to the Q&A. So what we've done is we've kind of summated all of the inputs that we've received from all of our online guests who are here on the various platforms. We've got people here watching from Facebook, people who are watching from YouTube, interacting with us on various platforms. So we do want to make sure that we cover all the questions, especially don't have too much time left. So if I can just be assisted with the colleagues in the background who are going to just in terms of showcasing the Q&As. We had highlighted some of the thematic questions. Andile, when you're ready. And of course, for everybody who is tuned in, as we're speaking, as we're interacting on the various platforms, we've got colleagues who are from NYDA also kind of responding to those things. Those websites are live and they're running. There's definitely information that we can get from there too. Andile, are we winning? Otherwise, let me just try whilst the colleagues are kind of showcase. I'll start right because, of course, we've been going through and are being well presented and well sent. I've got here some questions that also pertain to, I see Utemba Lawrence Legobotsane has written, what quality does one need to apply and be accepted in terms of, I think, various applications? I'm going to please ask, maybe Joy can handle that question in terms of, especially since, Sis Joy, you've got the myriad of application and joint ventures with various embassies. What would you some of the qualities that are stated? And of course, we can't demean the fact that academic excellence is also quite necessitated for this. So maybe, Sis Joy, if you can take that question. And then I'm just going to see here quickly. DC says, this is great work from the NYDA. Can we please keep sharing such information and empower our young people with knowledge information? Thank you so much, DC, on behalf of the NYDA. Are we waiting there with the comments, Andile? All right. I guess it's not being showcased, but nonetheless, let's keep trying. Okay. So there was a question here that also pertained to. All right. Unomasondo Dlamini is asking, good day. She's speaking from YouTube. She's saying, do I need a letter from my PhD supervisor if I want to apply for a postdoctoral fellowship position? And I think maybe I'll hand that over to you, Khomotso, because you had spoken about some postdoctoral opportunities that do pertain to the Swedish embassy. And then I think there was a question that was also pertaining to Chevening. I'm just going to try find it, but I think let's handle those two. Sis Joy, if you can come through, Khomotso, if you can also come through in that order. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nomfundo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nomfundo. For the quality, what are we looking at? You need to meet the requirements for the scholarship advert. Most of these adverts, they will state what is it that they are looking for. It will be you should be a South African. You should be, say, maybe others will have age limitation. You should have completed your studies. It is important that if you are applying to these scholarship programs, you check. For example, somebody who's currently doing matric this year will qualify for our opportunities for next year. However, if you are doing grade 11, you will not qualify for the opportunity because September 2025, you will still be busy with your studies. So it is important that you also check that. Remember, the very first thing that you are going to assess will be your application documentation, what you submit. So if it is an online application, you need to also check your spelling mistakes. You also need to check that you have submitted all the supporting documentation. Once we have done with that, we are going to do the first assessment of your application. After we will then call you for interviews. All these opportunities, you will be called for an interview. For an interview, we are going to hear from you. What have you researched about the country, about the university, about the program, and what are your intentions upon completing your studies? I saw on the chat there was a question about are you supposed to come back to South Africa? Yes, the reason why government is investing is investing, it is because we want you to go out there, come back, and ensure that we develop South Africa. We are also going to we are competitive. We need people who are going to come with skills that are scarce in South Africa, to ensure that we are having the right people at right platforms or at right sectors. So that is where we are offering these opportunities to ensure that you go there and come back to South Africa, to ensure that you assist us to achieve our priorities, goals as South Africa, to say we are going to develop our country by ensuring we offer opportunities to our young people. Okay, I saw the Valerio Manzini. Sorry, let me also take this. I'm not sure which website you are using, but the information is there for the France South Africa Scholarship Program. If you are struggling, please go to our website and check the information there. The advert is updated. It has 2024, 2025 dates. Thank you.
No, thank you so much, Sis Joy. Gerab, come through.
Thank you, Nomfundo. So to answer to Nomason Dlamini's question, yes, it is very important that you have your supervisor write a letter that also just validates your candidacy, because it's not just about them talking about your also your personable disposition. So if you have the right attitude to embark on this journey, this will be a testament over and above your support statement, your letter of motivation. So it is very, very important that you reach out to people who know you academically, but also by nature of a supervisor and researcher relation or scholar relation, they do know what you are capable of and how you adapt and your attitude and your deliverables. So it's very, very important to attach that to your application.
Thank you so much, Khomotso. The next question that I have is for Vuchilo. I think maybe this could actually ascribe to you. It asks, it's from Mutumi Mkhunu, who's asking today, thank you for the session. Do these scholarships also for MBAs at business schools or only specialized master's programs? And I think the criteria will be a bit different pertaining to all, because they're all quite complex and different in terms of their offering. But I just wanted to allow Vuchile from Chevening to also kind of respond to that.
Thank you very much for the question. So yes, we do cover for the MBAs, provided it is done in the universities that are eligible, meaning that it has to be a public university. And also there is a cap in terms of funding. So the money which is available for an MBA, it's 22,000 British pounds. So if the cost it's more than that, unfortunately or sadly so, you will have to cover the difference. So I think there are, like for instance, an MBA at University of Sussex, it's around 72,000 British pounds. So it means that you will need to mobilize another money that will cover the difference from 22,000 British pounds. Thank you.
Right, perfect. Thank you so much. Karabo, I also want to kind of bring you here into the discussion, because I think also when we speak about our young people, some of them are coming straight from high school, possibly thinking about taking study abroad opportunities for their undergraduate qualifications. I know a lot of the presentations here have been about postgraduate, and that has been explained that often at times, in certain instances, it might require you to have a master's, and in certain instances, it might require you to at least have an honors. So these do differ. And I do encourage all the young people who are on the call to actually go and research for the specific scholarship opportunity that they're looking for. But I wanted to maybe ask you, Karabo, as the Deputy Chairperson of the NYDA, what are other opportunities that are also available for the younger followers who are here on the call, who are also interested, but might maybe be looking for undergraduate opportunities that you guys offer as the National Youth Development Agency?
Thank you very much, Nomfundo, for the question. And I think one of the programs that we actually work quite closely with is the one that our previous speaker was speaking on, which is the Turkey Scholarship. And that actually is the one that covers undergraduate students. And of course, you would have mentioned that the application process is only going to be open from next year, January. But I think it's actually an opportune time and moment, because you don't want to get a hold of this opportunity in December, and by January, you don't even know where to start. So it's always best for you to start preparing ahead of time for such opportunities, so that, just in case the requirements are that you need to get a letter of referral, or, a motivation letter that you need to write, and you start thinking about what is it that you're going to put forth as a way to be able to showcase yourself, and also to speak about your own achievements and your own lived experiences. But with the National Youth Development Agency in particular, we've got the Solomon Mahlangu Scholarship or bursary that is for young people who are going into institutions of higher learning from your first year. And that bursary usually opens as well beginning of the year. And the call is really for young people who are studying various qualifications across all different institutions of higher learning in South Africa. So we're not really quite specific about what it is that you should be studying. But of course, we always encourage that you need to go into scarce areas. And I think Mrs. Joy was speaking about it. The Department of Higher Education and Training, actually on an annual basis, and I think they do it very frequently, they issue what we call occupations that are in high demand. Now, that is for us to be able to drive young people into areas that are required in the economy. One of the challenges that you might have is that you go to a university, you study, and you are not able to get employment because the qualification that you might have studied at the current time might be obsolete, or it might be in surplus in the economy. So it's always advisable for young people to get in touch with the different reports that the Department of Higher Education actually takes out in terms of occupations in high demand. Thank you very much, Nomfundo.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Garabo. I think that was so insightful. And I think that is where the rubber hits the road, because understanding our particular socioeconomic composition, and especially the country that we come from, these scholarships and these opportunities are always tied back to us coming back and building Sake, where we come from. So it's quite important that we do the requisite research, and hence the questions that we've been probing also in terms of the importance of you understanding where you're going, understanding which institution is best aligned in that regard, and where it is that we can also get help. I do understand that there's a myriad of questions that are posed here, but I actually want to maybe pose to all the panelists something that is often at times quite critical for us, and especially with the kind of socioeconomic background and inferences, especially with a country as dynamic as South Africa, with the type of unfortunately, the extraordinary high unemployment rate and youth unemployment rate at that. For those young people and for those young professionals who are actually watching or here on the call, some are worried in terms of their professional standing. So, for example, I saw that there's a colleague who is says that they're working for the Department of Higher Education and Training, or they might be a government employee or a contractor. They wanted to know if they are limited or if there are constraints to them actually also pursuing these opportunities. And maybe how is it that one can kind of navigate that? So maybe if I could just start with Sis Joy in that regard, see if maybe from a vocational perspective, also with you, Khumotso, what are the possibilities in terms of navigating that? Obviously, it'd be good for us to hear from Chevening. It'd be great for us to also hear from Ulebogang in terms of what she also did, if there was ever an element pertaining to her career trajectory. So if I maybe can start with you, Sis Joy, especially for those individuals who are part and parcel of the public service.
Okay, Nomfundo, thank you for that. Sorry, I might have missed the question. What is the question again?
Oh, okay, all right. So it's young people who are wanting to know, are there limitations to them kind of obtaining these scholarship opportunities, especially if they are public servants or officials in the public domain? And some young people are also young professionals in this particular regard. So is there flexibility? I think you might be more attuned to whether, for example, the likes of the DPSA allow for young professionals in the public service to also kind of undertake these opportunities. And then the question to our other colleagues would be, is there flexibility or what are some of the requirements then? Would it necessitate for a young professional to possibly take a leave of absence, a sabbatical? For these scholarship opportunities, do they have to be there on the premises on board? There was a question that also pertained to would a person be allowed to possibly visit home? A year or 2 years or 3 years is actually quite a long time. So what are some of the inferences that pertain to that in terms of you having access to opportunity? Maybe from a career perspective, what would be the expectation? Understanding that you also kind of you are feeding into and you're investing in your career by actually taking this element of sacrifice. So I just wanted to hear on that basis. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And remember, for public servants, we are the Department of Public Service and Administration is responsible. Each and every different government department has its own HR policies in addition to the DPSA one. So I know departments like agriculture, DTI, higher education, we do allow staff members to pursue their studies abroad. They will be on sabbatical. They will apply for sabbatical, and if approved, then they can pursue their studies. So they will be on full salaries abroad, and when they come back, they will come back to their positions. Also, that is the requirement for the Japanese one, the ABE and the SDG. If you are employed, we need a letter from the employer to say, upon completion of the studies, you will go back to your position. So those are some of the scholars opportunities that they do state. Upon completion, you should go back to your position. So yes, you need to look at different HR policies, because each and every department has its own internal policies in addition to what the DPSA's policy says. So for one to visit home, you are not limited. If you want to come home, if you're on a scholarship, you just need to send us a note to say, I will be for the summer holidays, I am going home. Please note that I'm not in country. Remember, we do have force majeure incidences where, like we know in the past, we had COVID. So as the department, if we are asked how many scholars do you have in Hungary, we will say we have 10. But if say you are not in country, then we will say yes, we do have 10. However, we have Joy who came back home for holidays, so that we provide good reporting to say the number of South Africans in that country are X. So it is important that whatever that you do, you inform the scholarship partner to say, I will be traveling. I'm not in my country. The expectation for most of our scholarship, the expectation is for you to come back to South Africa and ensure that you are helping us to develop the country. So the other expectation, obviously, you need to complete your studies. You need to pass all your modules and come back with that qualification. Most of the scholarship, they only cover you. We do not cover family members. Also, there was a question about when we say a return flight. Yes, we do provide, we will book for your flight when you leave South Africa to your host country, and we'll also book your flight once you complete your studies. For those opportunities that you are funded by the department and the host country, even if you do not complete your studies, it is our responsibility as government to say, we take you there and we ensure that we bring you back to South Africa. We do have other issues that students find themselves under. Some of them, they do not complete their studies and they are supposed to come back home. So the department will still cover your flight. For those also who are on the scholarship of the co-funded scholarship programs, if your program is over 2 years, you are also eligible for a midterm flight. So you will apply for a midterm flight. We look at your progress report. If you are progressing, we will book a flight for you to visit your family halfway through your studies.
No, thank you so much, Joy. I think what I'm going to do now is going to pivot it a little bit because we're now summiting. We're going to try to conclude our discussion as we've been on the platform. And I can see with all the amounts of questions that are being posed that young people are really, really interested. I think maybe if I can just pose this to you, Khomotso, that's all right. There's a question here that's asking about whether, this is from, I don't know if this is the correct name, but it says Smash Right. They're saying that the question has not been completed, as well as Unaledi. So they're asking, can you apply again for a course you got your degree in, or should you apply for another course that you want? But I think Smash Right wanted to ask, so there are some young people who have not been able to complete their degrees, and I think they're one of them, but they have some elements of like work experience in their particular field. Another young person had noted that they are owing fees to their previous university, and they might have letters of completion. Do those suffice, Khomotso, in terms of being able to apply? or is there maybe a way that they can kind of navigate that? I know it's a bit tricky, but I think in terms of your own experience, would this suffice, or would they have to at least be able to kind of circumvent that by at least concluding and getting that documentation in order for them to undertake the application process?
Thank you, Nomfundo. I see the question from Smash Riot, I think because of the limitations that Switzerland would have in terms of internal university affairs, we don't have privy to that. So we don't know to what degree you've completed. The only proof we have would be the qualification at hand. And so it becomes very difficult for us to chop and change the requirements based on a student's reality. So what we would urge students to do is that try and speak to the research office at university, reach out to the funding agencies so that they can release your certificate, which is what at international level is looked at the end of the day when you submit your application. Because they're not in a position to verify your work experience in relation to the research work that is to be undertaken. They're not always able to verify that a letter that the university has issued out saying that you have completed but you owe the university. We're not able to verify that to a certain extent. So I think you can apply with a letter saying that you have completed but are waiting the conferration of your degree or the actual certificate, which then that we can work with. But I also saw another question from, I think, Laura Mulokome, I think. You are welcome to reach out to the embassy directly. I will share my email address now on the platform with anyone who wishes to connect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khumutso. I appreciate that. I think maybe the concluding remarks before I hand over to Utandega will be for you, Vujilo. So someone, Mandisa Gaba asked, how long does it take to receive an update on whether you have been upgraded from a reserve candidate to a conditional candidate for Chevening scholarship? And if maybe I can tie that into Kifilwe's questions, because she was asking about the fact of whether an applicant who, for example, has a particular health issue, does this somehow disadvantage that applicant from being accepted into the scholarship overseas? And I think a follow-up to that was, if an applicant is awarded a scholarship, are they responsible to apply for their own visas and traveling documents? And I think maybe we can also assist with that as Chevening alumni, since that's quite specific. So
thank you. Thank you once again. The issue of upgrade, the deadline, it will be next month towards the end of July. That is when, in everyone who is being accepted for now, they say that they can no longer be part of Chevening or they are not accepting offer. That's when the reserves will be upgraded to conditionally selected. So that process will happen next month in July. And if you can repeat the question about from Mandisa, because I did not get that one, I will also be answering the issue of visa. So once you have the offer, everything will be covered. The visa will you will be working with the program officer who is based in the UK in order for you to get the visa. So I can see the question here from Mandy is, how long does it take to receive an update? I've covered that. So it is a question of a 1 month to know that you'll be upgraded or not. And that is subject to if someone drop out or someone cannot accept the offer. And another question I see, what did they respond?
Often, Vuchilo, was whether an individual would be disadvantaged if they have a particular health issue. Because I think part and parcel of sometimes the scholarship application is to kind of speak to that, if there's an underlying health condition.
That would be that will depend on what are the conditions with their health. As you know that many countries, they do take, if it is something that one can take vaccine, that will not be an issue. And if it is also, if the health issues are not too serious in a point of, um, if the one is in chronic medication, it means that they can still get the scholarship, but they must get their prescriptions here in South Africa. Um, Another aspect is that we also encourage people with disability to apply for this scholarship, because we have seen that not many people with disability take advantage of these opportunities. Therefore, we call upon all people with disadvantages who meet the minimum requirement to take advantage of this opportunity, and they will get further support in order for them to have a better experience in the UK.
Perfect. Thank you so much for. I think we are going to conclude our session today. Karabo, honestly, I think we needed a retreat, not a session, especially pertaining to just how interested young people are about this, and also the pool and wealth of knowledge that is out there. So thank you so much, everyone, for having awarded me the opportunity to steer today's ship. I'm going to be handing over now to Thandeka Shabalala, who's going to conclude our discussion today. And please keep interacting on the various platforms where it is that us as the NYDA and us as various responsibility managers in our own right will be able to leverage elements of information. We will continue to do so. But from me, thank you so much. Thandeka Shabalala, over to Dabrit.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lamini. Good afternoon, everyone. As introduced, my name is Thandeka Shabalala. And on behalf of the National Youth Development Agency, would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on today's daily program. And we can all agree that it was a very informative session. The captain steered the ship very well, and I hope that we'll be landing in seas offshore. First and foremost, we'd like to thank all our speakers and presenters for today's program. We are totally grateful for you guys making time for young people of South Africa to give us insightful information on studying abroad. Ms. Nongabe, Mr. Makananise, Ms. Austin, and Ms. Temba, thank you very much for generously sharing your insights, expertise, and personal experiences about studying abroad. The information that you guys have shared with us is invaluable. I think many of us have learned a lot, whether it's going to further your studies in the field that you're in or expanding your knowledge and diversifying. A very interesting question was asked on whether you need to study something that you studied in your undergrad if you want to pursue your postgrad studies. And I found it interesting because our deputy chair was a marketing undergraduate, and she then diversified her qualification into economics. She holds a master's degree in development studies, and now she's studying in economic policy. So just don't think about what you've studied. If you have a field of interest that you're looking to go into, do your research, open your laptops and play around the internet. And there's so much information that is available for us. We want to thank again the program director and facilitator, Ms. Lamini. You did an exceptional job. You steered the ship exceptionally well, and we're grateful for you to guide this conversation, allowing for the discussion and discourse to go and flow properly. And would further like to appreciate the deputy chairperson for allowing us or being part of this program. We realize how much she is very passionate about education, especially studying abroad. She's one of the people that is always encouraging young people to say there are so many opportunities. Don't let the lack of information hinder you from broadening your horizon. And on behalf of the Office of the Executive Deputy Chair, we want to say get those applications ready, get those reference letters and motivation letters ready. go to Home Affairs, apply for those passports because we're going to study overseas. Thank you.